Hello, 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 and we're back. What's up, everybody? My name is Brandon. I'll be your host for today's episode of the Bigger Picture Podcast. This will be episode 4. Today on the show, we have special guest, my good friend Jared Smith.
What's going on, guys?
Jared, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? You like sports? What are you into?
Yeah, man. Military brat. So lived in 7 states. I lived in Germany, where actually I picked my favorite team. I looked at all the logos and said I'm gonna pick the coolest one. That was the Dolphins at the time. Been rocking them ever since, and waiting to see what we're gonna do with Tua this year.
All right, awesome. Not a lot of Dolphins fans, but hey, any Dolphins fans watching this, show some love. Tua, new quarterback. Maybe it'll be a better year, a better future for you guys. And today we're going to stick on the topic of NFL, kind of piggybacking off the last video that we did. Last video we looked at top 5 NFL quarterbacks. Today we're going to look at top 5 NFL running backs. So this should be a good one because with quarterback, I think it was pretty cut and dry. We can rotate between 7, 8 different guys. You can kind of, move in and out of that top 5. Pretty clear cut and dry. But running back's a lot trickier, a lot of different variables, pass catching, running, is their offensive line holding them back, So we're going to get into that. Jared, you want to start us off and let's hear your top 5. Let's get into it.
All right, top 5, starting from the top: Christian McCaffrey, Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook. 1 through 5. Started with the top. So the starter with the top are the young guys who are literally, when they're on the field, doing absolutely everything for their team. Think about Christian McCaffrey. He literally accounts for probably 70% of that team's total offense. Does the team have a winning record? No. Could they possibly with their new quarterback? Maybe. But one constant is that he is the absolute best in the NFL, hands down. Look at the stats, look at the number, look at the percentage that he is carrying his team on his back every single game. Look at the fantasy picks. He's the one that's going to go first. He's the best one we got in the NFL right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm okay with that. We're going to get to my list in a minute. No issue with McCaffrey number 1, though, and I'm sure a lot of people looking at this, same thing. McCaffrey, he does it all for his team, so I've got no issue with that. Who did you have at number 2?
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. I think they're pretty interchangeable. Definitely 1 or 2, depending on how you look at it. I think McCaffrey, you could argue his usage rate's a little bit higher, which definitely helps him out. But regardless, I really got no issue. 1 or 2, how you do those. Looking at number 3.
3, Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott. This is where it gets good. So give us a little bit why you think Zeke is number 3. Now, he has missed some games over the last couple of years, whether it be injury, suspension. He's got a lot going on. But what goes into Zeke being number 3 for you?
So this is where the chart gets a little bit different. So the last 3 is all about consistency. So they're good, but how consistent are they? How consistent can they be? Can they maintain being 3 through 5 through the entire NFL season? So Elliott came in the league as a rookie, and he had the rushing title. He 1,600 yards. He does it back to back, and he is still a baller. He has he gets that contract based off what he does. Dak is still waiting. Zeke's already got it.
That's true. That's very true. One thing about the top 2 guys, and we didn't mention that, they have yet to really. I mean, they've gotten paid, but Zeke got that contract last year, and that was kind of the standard. Kind of set the standard for everyone to come after him, and not even the guys before him, because we saw Le'Veon Bell held out for a long time to try to get that contract. And he sat out a whole entire year. And honestly, the amount of money he got, to me, he got underpaid. It wasn't really worth it. You can debate it all day, but Le'Veon really, even for that money that he did get, he didn't live up to it. So I think in the future, I think Zeke will live up to the deal. And I think right now, currently, we're looking at top 5. He's definitely, number 3. Not going to peek at my list too early, but I have number 3 as well. So, again, he has a great O-line too. That definitely helps him out. Not saying Zeke wouldn't be good on another team, but that O-line, it did get him paid. You can't discredit that. Definitely. What do you think of number 4 and 5? Who did you have there and why?
So Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook. So you look at these guys and their stats from last year, absolutely amazing, right?
Mhm.
But before that, is it absolutely amazing? It's not. So there's a lot of ups and downs. You have Cook, who was injured and was a surprise that he was as good as he was last year. You have Henry, who has been okay and just had a stellar season last year. Literally, him, Ryan Tannehill, and crew getting that far. Nobody expected that from the Tennessee Titans. Nobody said Derrick Henry is going to lead the Titans to the playoffs games, beat the Ravens, almost compete for a Super Bowl before they got beat by the Chiefs. Nobody saw that coming. Like, literally, when you produce that well to get your team that far into the season, you're doing something right. So, 4, now, can he keep it? Can he stay there? That's the question. But for right now, that's solid. And then Cook is kind of the same thing. You know, you have a guy who can catch the ball. You have a guy who can run. You have a guy that can juke. Came out of nowhere because nobody expected a lot from him. But again, had a huge contribution getting his team deep into the postseason. So those guys round out the 4 and 5.
Okay, definitely see where you're going with that. I thought a lot about Derrick Henry before I put my list together, um, and there's a reason why I didn't put him in my top 5. Derrick Henry he was very what's the word I'm looking for? Not a bust, but he was just very disappointing at first. And I don't know if that's due to where he was drafted. For a while, he was only a 2-down back. You know, they had Dion Lewis there. Derrick Henry wasn't really. He was just a goal line guy. Really, how they looked at it. And it was a game or two where he would just explode, go off, and you're like, wow, why can't we get this consistency from him? Because you mentioned that with the top couple guys, you know, they're consistent, they get it done, they catch the ball, they can run in between the tackles, outside the tackles, you know, they get the job done. Derrick Henry, I feel like last year people don't realize Tennessee had a very good O-line. I believe Pro Football Focus had them rated as a top 5 offensive line in the league. He did benefit from that. And just like he did at Alabama, benefited from a monster O-line. I'm not saying the guy is not good. Physically, he's elite. You know, he's like a linebacker playing running back, probably a D lineman playing running back. You know, you can't stop him. It takes 3-4 grown men to tackle him and take him down. He does his thing. But for me, it's consistency, because if you take away, you know, the 200-yard performance that he had, those 3 touchdown games that he has, to me, and this might sound wild, but to me, he's like a glorified Leonard Fournette. You know, his yards per carry is okay. He, again, it's a few games where
A glorified Leonard Fournette. There's no way. That's so disrespectful.
no, it's
That
not.
is absolutely
Because it's
disrespectful.
almost the same type when you think about what Leonard Fournette was supposed to be coming out of college. He was supposed to be a 20 carry a guy. You know, 20 carries a game. He can add 3-4 catches. He's supposed to do it all. They're very similar running backs. I think there's a lot more upside, obviously, with Derrick Henry and what he's going to get you. But that line, man, that's a perfect example of Jacksonville's line sucks, and it hurts Leonard. Again, you put Leonard Fournette in that offense, I guarantee you he's ripping off the same type of big runs, and he's dominating the competition. So for that reason, I didn't put Derrick Henry in my top 5, but I understand why you did. It's more of a recency thing, you know, with what you've seen from him recently, what he did in the playoffs against good defenses.
You're saying that does not continue. You're saying that does not continue. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I think, and I think what's going to happen, he's going to be the type of guy where next year you'll see it. You know, he'll have 20 carries for 70 yards, maybe get into the end zone, and you'll be like, oh, Derrick Henry, you know, they won though. So you're not going to say he had a bad game. But when you go back individually and look at his box scores, you start to see and you start to realize, like, he has those big monster games that get shown on SportsCenter, and that's what you remember him for. But week to week, it's not amazing. It's
See,
just good.
I could see that in 2018. Had the man in fantasy in 2018, and I saw those. I literally wouldn't play him. He'd have a 200-yard game. One of the most frustrating guys to have. 2019 wasn't like that. 2019, the man is on fire. The man is going to return to 2020 and have similar success.
Again, his success is in his offensive line, and his success is in them pounding the ball to him as much as possible. because Tennessee's receivers have not panned out to be what they need to be. Ryan Tannehill is a game managing quarterback. Their offenses get the ball to Derrick Henry. Now, next year, he's going to see 8-man boxes consistently. And I think the reason why Tennessee was able to be so successful in their couple of playoff wins against the Patriots and against the Ravens is because teams came in and said, we've got to stop this man. That's all they have. And Ryan Tannehill did a little bit more than he had during the regular season. He played great, didn't turn the ball over. That's really what helped them win. The defense was stellar all year, very underrated. People didn't realize how good of a defense Tennessee really had. And Ryan Tannehill's just a quarterback. In that offense, he did not make mistakes. And that
You're
really guided him.
That it's not like they're going to bring people 8 in the box and Tannehill isn't going to check out of the run and do play action. He's going to have that ability. It's going to be really hard.
To be honest with you, I don't think Tannehill has that ability. I don't think Tannehill's that good. I don't think they want Tannehill checking when there's 8 in the box and going to a play action. Because I don't think
wouldn't have paid him that much if they wouldn't trust him with that decision.
No, they paid him that much because they have no other option. Their only other option was to draft a quarterback in the first round and develop him. I feel like they know that they're in win-now mode with the contracts they have, with the pieces they have. This is a team who thinks that, hey, we're going to win a Super Bowl. We saw what we did last year. We made a run at it. So we're going all in right now. We're not going to sit here and draft a quarterback. They had no choice but to pay Tannehill. It was either that or they get a guy like Jameis Winston to come in who really doesn't fit what they're trying to do because he's a gunslinger. He's not a game manager. They had no choice. So going back to the original topic, Derrick Henry at 4, I get it, but I need to see more from him because he's just in the tackles guy, first, second down. You know, if it's 3rd and 2, he gets you 2, that's great, but just very predictable when he's on the field. You know what's happening. They're handing it off to him. It's just a matter of, are they going left or right? Is it a toss? Is it an inside handoff? What are we looking at there? So I get it. Dalvin Cook. You said Dalvin Cook at 5, right?
Dalvin Cook.
Just to look at him, I don't have an issue with Dalvin Cook. I think he's really good. For me, he's just outside of my top 5, but I really can't even debate that with you because he's one of those guys where I start to say, well, he definitely benefits from the Vikings having 2 really good receivers. I know they lost Stephon Diggs now, but Thielen and Diggs were a big part of his success also because you got to respect that. You can't load up the box when you've got 2 amazing wide receivers like that on the outside. That definitely helped him out. But I will say Dalvin Cook is much more versatile than Derrick Henry. And I think that's why I don't really have an issue with him at 5 because he can catch the ball. He is a 3-down back. Outside of the injuries, I mean, if he didn't have that 1 year where he was hurt, Dalvin Cook would easily, it'd be no debate that he's top 5. But I really don't have a problem with that. It was just the Derrick Henry pick. I was like, oh, you put him at 4. That was interesting. For me, actually very similar list. 1, 2, and 3. I had the order as Barkley number 1, McCaffrey number 2, and Zeke number 3. I just think from a pure talent standpoint, Barkley is the best. I think the reason why I put him number 1 over Christian McCaffrey, he doesn't have the same usage rate, so to speak, as McCaffrey. Trust me, they use the hell out of Saquon because that's all they have. But they don't use him in the same way. McCaffrey, they go out of their way to get this guy 30 touches a game. I don't care if it's a screen pass. I don't care if he's running routes. He's lining up in the slot. Saquon's not lining up in the slot like that. They've got McCaffrey out there running true. He's their best receiver. He's better than DJ Moore and these other guys. They really have him out here, running real wide receiver routes. He should get paid as wide receiver, running back, just everything. Just pay him the most you can. Get the Patrick Mahomes deal to Christian McCaffrey because the guy is doing so much. You might as well throw the ball for them. That's why I think Barkley, when you look at it, if Barkley had that same opportunity in his own offense, it'd be a no-brainer. The numbers he could put up might be just as good or way better. So that's why I just gave the slight edge over to Saquon. But McCaffrey is a very close 2. I got no issue with you swapping them out. Number 3, I did have Ezekiel Elliott, pretty much for the same reasons you had. I think the guy's a beast. I think he's consistent. Again, a damn good O-line for every year we've seen him. But I think last year kind of showed us, or whenever it was when they had, I think it was last year with Tony Pollard, a lot of people talked about, Tony Pollard's really good too. And a lot of people thought Tony Pollard could have the same success, if Zeke missed time. And he really was kind of underwhelming. He was okay. Didn't really do, he didn't show like, hey, I'm a top 5 running back also. So I think that kind of shows that there is a gap. People like to say that running backs don't matter. You can get running backs in the 3rd, 4th round, and they're just as good as the guys you draft top 10. I don't believe that. The vision that Zeke has, the feel for the game, he's good. He can pass protect. That's very underrated, his pass protection. Definitely Zeke number 3. This is where it gets interesting. So number 4, I put Nick Chubb. Now, Nick Chubb, the reason why I put him, he is a 3-down back. I've only got 3-down backs on this list, and for a reason. Because Nick Chubb, he gets into the end zone, he catches the ball. I wish he had more of an opportunity, but if I'm an NFL GM, I get why they brought Kareem Hunt in. They brought Kareem Hunt in so Nick Chubb doesn't break down and he doesn't have to take the same workload that McCaffrey's taking, that Barkley's taking, that Zeke is taking. They want to preserve his body, and it's going to help them in the long run because even if he does go down with a little petty injury, ankle, hamstring, something like that, you've got a really good backup who has shown that he can get the job done. So for that reason, Nick Chubb, though, from a standalone point, that guy can ball. And you can't say that he doesn't. Cleveland's O-line is not great. The first year, they didn't really have great receivers when he was there. They still had, I think Jarvis Landry was there, but they didn't have Odell his rookie year. The guy can play. He has the vision. He can pass catch. He can pass protect. Nick Chubb is a really good running back. And I think he's underrated. A lot of people don't realize it. Maybe because he played for a bad team last year. He didn't get on SportsCenter as much. He didn't make the highlights, but look out for Nick Chubb. I promise you that's not even like a sleeper. Like he's a legit top 5. And then my number 5 was Alvin Kamara. I'm really surprised you didn't put Alvin Kamara there because
how can you say that?
Listen, the consistency
5 from last year? Give me Latavius Murray and run the same routes. I get the same production.
I'm gonna tell you why people don't. Well, you would think, yes, you're right. You think at looking at Alvin Kamara, he had a down year. It's not that he had a down year. They just decided to completely abuse Michael Thomas year in and year out. They got around the goal line. It's Michael Thomas who's the number 1 option. They're in the middle of the field. Let's give Michael Thomas the ball. Like we need a first down. The Saints went from being a team where it was 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. We're going to get Alvin Kamara the ball because we know our O-line is better than yours and we know that he can get us the first down, to a team where, 3rd and 3, let's just put Breeze and shotgun in it and see what Mike Thomas can do on this little slant route. Because let's be honest, that's all he runs. It's like slant routes, curl routes, just very basic routes. And he's just consistent 13 yards, 14-yard gains, like no yards after catch. They just decided to completely just go for Michael Thomas last year. And I don't know if that's because they thought they were using Alvin Kamara too much. They thought he was going to break down. They did bring Latavius Murray in, but again, that's just to keep that little 2-down back system going. Look at outside of last year, look at what he did his first couple of years in the league. You could have argued he was top 3. You could have argued he was better than Zeke.
You could have said that, but to say that he's top 5 now based off what we saw last year, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No. We're at least 7. At least
7. You look at Alvin's track record. No, you look at Alvin's track record. You look at his stats. I want a guy, again, who's a 3-down back. He can catch the ball, maybe not on McCaffrey's level, but he's definitely top 3 pass catcher from his position. Only other guys I put is like Le'Veon Bell. He's a great pass catcher. And, of course, McCaffrey. But Kamara can catch the ball. He's just not as big as the other guys that we've been naming, like physically stout. He's a smaller guy. He's very quick. He's shown he can ball. So I don't understand how you don't put him in your top 5.
His time is over. His time's over. He had that time in the spotlight. He was really good. He was getting consistent, great games, and that's just not him anymore. Like, if I'm going against him in fantasy, I'm not even scared. I'm like, yeah, sure, he might pop off. Maybe. Not anymore. Like, I'm not scared. You put me against Dalvin Cook. You put me against Derrick Henry. Oh, wow. I'm checking that game. I'm saying, oh, man, is Tennessee close to the goal line? Oh, man, are the Vikings within 20 yards because I know Cook makes one juke and he's there. I don't know if Kamara makes the same one. I don't know if Kamara
So
makes the same
listen. From a fantasy standpoint, I get you. I don't disagree from a fantasy standpoint, but from a real life standpoint, there's a reason that they don't have to because he's so damn good that they have options. The Saints have so many options. They just added Emmanuel Sanders this year, so I'm sure even this season you might think oh, his stats aren't great. They're not what they used to be. But again, he plays in an offense where his usage rate is not as high as it could be. Again, if you put him on the Panthers, he'd be a guy who's getting 20 touches a game, 15 carries. They throw at him about 5 times, and that's probably on average. There'd be games where he gets a lot more if they're not blowing teams out. So I look at that a lot when I think about who's top 5. If I take you and I put you on a random team, McCaffrey, the reason why he's 1 or 1 on your list, 2 on mine, if I put him on a team like the Dolphins or I don't know, any of those teams that are drafting at the top of each year, if I put McCaffrey on the Dolphins, he's worth a good 2-3 wins for that team. He completely changes the dynamic, what they can do in the offense, and I feel like not everyone can do that. So if you're in my top 5, you got to be a true game changer, and Alvin does that for you. You just may not realize it because his numbers are off, but from an X's and O's standpoint, the dude is a killer, and that's just what it is.
We gotta see how it plays. We gotta see how it plays out.
Got to see how it plays.
2020 with 0 fans cheering.
It'll
what
definitely
will it be like?
Definitely be a good year. And running back's definitely a position where I'd actually say you don't really need the fans. Now, if we're talking quarterback is huge because fans play a part. They get loud, they can rattle you. Fans start booing. Running back's not really going to get booed. He gets a 2-yard gain. It's like, oh, the line didn't block. So it's a little bit different. But running back should be fun. It should be a fun year. It's a lot to look forward to. That's going to wrap it up for episode 4 today. We were ranking our top 5 NFL running backs. Who do you have in your top 5? Leave a comment below. Share the video with your friends. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you can find us. I'll leave a link in the description. That's going to be it for today, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe. Peace.